God Flash or Black Racer Origins, the Flash who killed Darkseid. Hello and welcome to another marvelous video. I'm your host, Tia Ayer. Barry Allen acquired the Black Racer powers during the DC Comics Darkseid War arc, which enables the hero to defeat Darkseid when the villain launched one of the most lethal assaults against the residents of the Justice League. With the death of the Apokolips Emperor, the Flash came dangerously close to being permanently tainted by the evil powers. In this video, we will be looking at this ultra-superpowered version of Flash in great detail. So sit tight and brace yourselves. Before we go into our explanation, we have a very small request. If you like our content, please support us by subscribing to our channel. This is a small click for you, but for us, it means a lot. Thank you. Let's begin. Jack Kirby invented Black Racer, who made his debut in New Gods number 3. However, in the Prime Earth timeline, Black Racer first appears in Justice League, Volume 2, number 44, by Geoff Johns and Jason Fabok, as a member of the New 52 DC Universe. So who or what is the Black Racer? Let's find out. An element of death manifests physically as the Black Racer. The Black Racer was once caught and controlled by Darkseid of Apokolips by attaching it to a sentient host, and ever since, it has served as the Dark God's most potent weapon. The lost son of Highlander, Mr. Miracle, was one of the numerous hosts of the Racer, who was unwittingly chained to it until, for unexplained reasons, he was let free and changed for another. The Flash possesses a plethora of extraordinary abilities that have assisted him in combating some of the most powerful enemies in the DC Universe. However, Barry Allen morphed into something altogether different during the Darkseid War. When Darkseid went to battle with the Anti-Monitor on Earth, the DC Comics villain summoned the living personification of death, the Black Racer, to destroy his opponent. However, the scheme backfired when Anti-Monitor made the Flash the new host of death, culminating in Allen becoming a deity. Although the Flash taking on the guise of death led to the creation of one of the most potent forms, it was also one of his most hazardous. When Darkseid summons the Black Racer, the new god's equivalent of death, to murder the Anti-Monitor in the Darkseid War, Chapter 4 from DC Comics. The Flash merges with a potent entity. Anti-Monitor utilizes the speedster while in his new godlike form, and propels him through Darkseid's body, murdering the villain as he cries out for the anti-life equation. After killing Darkseid, the Anti-Monitor encased himself in an energy shell and finally disassociated from the anti-life equation, which Grail later acquired. Soon after, he came out of his shell and transformed into a more human-looking version of Mobius. Despite this, he retained his immense strength and armies of shadow demons. All of the heroes suddenly became evil after Darkseid is gone. Returning to the group, the Flash, Black Racer, claims to be the god of death. Superman declares himself to be the god of strength as he nearly kills Lex Luthor. When the new gods, who are enraged by Darkseid's death, corrupt Shazam, he turns into the god of gods and departs. After becoming lost in Apokolips and falling into a flaming pit, Lex Luthor transforms into the Apokolips's god. The Flash's struggle with who he's become in Justice League. Darkseid War, The Flash, number 1, which picks up after the unexpected death of Darkseid, as the Black Racer temporarily transforms into a deity and outruns the overwhelming force before splitting from it. Barry Allen nearly becomes corrupted by death, which is looking for a longtime host for the character. But for a moment, the Flash's transformation into the Black Racer granted him the abilities necessary to murder Darkseid, one of the deadliest things the speedster has ever done. Killing the supervillain demonstrated the Flash's real strength in his most evil role ever. These one-shots, which continue the story of the Darkseid War, describe what happened after Darkseid died and the changes the League has undergone. Of those modifications, the Flash taking the role of death seems to be the most radical and significant jump. Death cannot be outrun by the fastest man alive, but as the phrase goes, if you can't beat them, join them. Flash's Darkseid War attempts to provide light on what transpired after his merger with the Black Racer. It was genuinely unclear at one point in Justice League number 45 when Flash briefly disassociated himself from Darkseid's weapon of death. This issue clarified the situation, propelling Flash quickly onto a road that will profoundly change his life. Author Rob Williams expertly crafts the narrative into what I'm starting to recognize as a repeating motif in these one-shots. Each narrative strips these folks to the bone, even as they undergo significant transformations. What is the foundation of this person? What drives them? No matter what the shift that they are going through, they still have the motivating drive. Change happens in any instance. In Flash's case, it is a battle for supremacy. Barry became the host of death personified in the split second when he fused with the Black Racer. Barry's discussion with the Racer is seen here, along with his reflections on both his own immortality and the immortality of others around him. He experiences a range of emotion as a result of the narrative: fear, hope, rage, despair, and a depressing realization that they are all present. They appear to retain some of their characteristics, which is what made this issue and the Batman issue successful. It probably depends on how they converted into gods. But Superman had a complete transformation in the Darkseid War issue. Flash can still speak to the other members of the League in his own voice. The fact that Barry had to confront his concerns head-on was what really made this narrative compelling. Lost loved ones, being unable to save everyone, and seeing his enemies grow stronger than him. He almost kills his beloved Iris when Black Racer tries to manipulate him. Flash was given everything, and he faced his worries head-on by accepting it all. The plot has some excellent set pieces that include facets of Flash's background. Even a few of his rogues make appropriate cameo appearances. The finest scenes naturally involved Flash and Death. I thought their brief race was a great touch, and I found it particularly endearing when they both started crying a bit as they discussed the might of death. It's reasonable to say that Barry Allen was stretched to the breaking point in this issue, with the constant appearance of Nora Allen's ghost being dispatched to kill Iris West and having to flee for his life physically. I can imagine Flash's change being for the greater good, unlike Batman or Superman. However, once Flash accepts his job, a lot of accountability and obligation will be placed on him. In the end, Flash thinks that he's got death when he starts to chase it with his own scythe. But as he touches it, he realizes he doesn't beat death. Instead, he realizes it without a tether. It will spread uncontrollably and no life will exist in the universe. The saga ends in Justice League, issue number 50, volume 2, the offspring of Superwoman and Alexander Luthor, who had his father's capacity to absorb other people's super talents, kept the Black Racer apart from the Flash. But instead of being absorbed, the Racer could only be removed from its host. It needed to take a life before it could. Hence, it started to chase Barry Allen in order to take his life. Just as it was about to touch Barry, Jessica Cruz, Power Ring, stepped in the middle and sacrificed her own life. However, in a twist of events, Jessica Cruz was spared. Volthoom's life was taken and his ring was shattered. Then the Racer disappeared. Powers and abilities. The Black Racer is a member of the fictional gods of the New Genesis and Apokolips, who exist outside of regular time and space, in a world known as the Fourth World. These new gods have developed into creatures of genetic stability and evolutionary perfection due to their intimate closeness to the source of primordial energy, said to be one of the ultimate foundations of the universal expression of energy and their advanced technology. Contrary to popular belief, the inhabitants of New Genesis are superior to Homo sapiens in terms of strength, speed, and intelligence. And of course, since it's a god, it is immortal, possesses superhuman speed and flight abilities, and not to mention super strength. A sentient host body can be taken under the Racer's control and changed to suit his purposes. It carries a scythe, and one slight touch is enough to take any person's life. The Anti-Monitor could be severely injured with just a single contact with his scythe, and when combined with the anti-life equation, Darkseid could be killed easily. While merging with Barry Allen, the Black Racer sometimes possesses claws in each of his fingers. Also, the Racer can create a superpower it wants via Darkseid tips, as shown in issue 45, volume 2. Marvelous verdict. The Black Racer eventually found a new host and vanished, which was thankfully quick for the rest of the DC universe for the Flash. However, as the physical embodiment of death, Barry Allen was strong enough to destroy Darkseid as he launched his greatest battle on Earth to date. Thanks to his new abilities and the Anti-Monitor, the Flash finally stopped Darkseid from becoming a genuine god However, he would soon return in later storylines as he usually does. And if you liked our content, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to us if you haven't already. Have a good one and be safe. Thanks, everyone.